guys? It is good to be back in another video. So, I was blasted in my Discord about Marcel, how he's not being bullish on ONVO. And I just wanted to share my opinion in this video, okay? So first of all, Marcel, great guy. Lots of insight from his channel. If you haven't already subscribed to him, of course, go subscribe to him. He's the OG of the OG, of course. He's been making videos long before I have even started making videos. So, great insight. And, of course, he has a lot of valid reasons for why he's not bullish on ONVO. He thinks partnerships are more important. And I have to agree on that. Partnerships are very important, but I am super bullish on ONVO. In fact, I am way too bullish on ONVO. All right? And I'm going to be telling you why. Why am I so damn bullish on ONVO? So where do we start? First of all, I gotta say, like, NIO's cars, as great as they are, there were always certain flaws with it. Right? For example, horizontal screens. Right now, the second gen NIOs, they don't have the AC charge port. Right? Right now, on all NIOs, collectively, all right, they charge slower than anybody else with fast charging. Of course, we have battery swaps, so that doesn't really matter. But of course, a weakness is a weakness, right? But ONVO solves all those weaknesses. ONVO gives everybody everything they've ever wanted. All right, you got 900-volt architecture. You charge super fast. You want to charge fast? You can charge fast. You want to swap? You can swap. Oh, there's no compromise, guys. You got the best of both worlds. All right. So that's just amazing in itself. All right. And then on top of that, you got horizontal screens. Woohoo! Horizontal screens. You know, one of the biggest problems that a lot of NIO owners have, and even some people may have chosen some other car brands and not a NIO because of the lack of screens. The NIO screens are vertical. Viewing entertainment movies is like no bigger than viewing it on a phone. So that's a problem that a lot of people did not like. But this is also going to be solved on the ONVO car. All right. And of course, Gen 3 NIOs, it's also going to solve all these problems as well. All right. So don't be worried about that. And of course, energy efficiency. Right. A lot of people have complained that during the winter and just in general, NIOs are quite heavy and they don't get excellent range. Apart from the ET7, which gets excellent range, the ET7 can get like 15, 13 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So with the 150 kilowatt hour battery pack, they're able to achieve over 1,000 kilometers of actual range. Now, the thing with the ONVO car is that this car is going to be so damn energy efficient. More energy efficient than a Tesla, right? Because it has a rear-wheel drive single motor variant. Now, that's something that a lot of people have been asking for as well. For example, the ET5 looks fantastic. Design-wise, lots of ladies love it. But do they really need that power? Right? Dual motors, so much acceleration, 3-point-some seconds. Come on. I mean, like, you could have come out with a single motor variant, made a cheaper car, right, and get more sales. So in this aspect, the performance aspect is could be a little bit of a turn down for some people, especially female buyers. They don't want that acceleration. It's dangerous. Of course, NIO has a software fix for it, limiting the power, especially making slower acceleration, and of course, preventing accidental mis-accelerations, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So for example, on NIOs, if they detect that you're in a school area or in front there's a car that's stationary and you hit the accelerator, the car might think that you're trying to hit the brakes. So what the car does not stop the car. All right, the car just limits the acceleration speed. All right, so that it doesn't just blast off and hit whatever's in front of you. So I think that's very good on NIO's software team. But, I mean, they're paying extra for the performance, which is not needed. So obviously, offering customers what they want is very, very important, right? So rear motor, single motor version of the ONVO L60 is going to be fantastic. It's going to be the best seller, of course, the cheapest car, right? And here in China, something I like to do is I like to talk to random strangers, all right? So I talked to some DD drivers, which are like Uber drivers. Now, a lot of these guys, some people have, they still have gasoline cars. Some of them have electric cars. Some of them have hybrid cars. Now, just talking to some of these guys, their biggest problem is cost of operation and time, all right? Some of them don't want to buy an EV because of the risk of having to charge and also the battery potentially going haywire and then they're stuck on the road. So I talked to them about, hey, why not get a car that can do battery swap? And taxis, by the way, here in China can already do battery swap. And they were very intrigued by this idea of battery swap, right? But the biggest problem is price. They can't afford a NIO. They're not going to use a NIO to do taxis, to do Ubers here in China. That's just that's counterintuitive unless you're doing like the premium, all right? You're doing like Uber premium, sort of like that, DD premium with the expensive cars, more expensive cars. That might be viable. But in general, price is a very big obstacle for a lot of people when it comes to buying a NIO. So they like battery swap, but they can't access it. So ONVO car is really going to help out with that. You're going to be able to access battery swap at a much cheaper price point, right? And you got 1,000 plus swap stations at the launch. So this itself means this is going to be a very, very competitive car in terms of specs and features. And the thing is, speaking of specs and features, most cars here in China, they compete purely on better specs at a cheaper price. So NIO is going to do better specs at a cheaper price plus battery swap. So most people buy a NIO despite the weaknesses that I've talked about, like no horizontal screen or lots of power that you might not need. They buy it for the convenience of battery swap. That's one of the biggest reasons anyone would ever buy a NIO. That's going to be the same reason why anyone would ever buy an ONVO car. Battery swap. It can do battery swap. All right. And you have a cheap, competitive, energy efficient car that's going to be very spacious and fairly comfortable. It's a win-win situation. All right. And it's going to be cheaper than Tesla's cars. It's going to be cheaper than the Model Y. So there's not really much that can go wrong with this. It's going to be a hot seller. 100%. It's going to sell a lot of cars. I don't know how many times I got to stress this. It's going to sell a lot. And even Uber drivers, right? These Uber drivers here in China, DD drivers, they're going to finally have an opportunity to get one car that solves all their problems, right? And it doesn't have to be a hybrid, because hybrids, it sort of solves their problem. They can use electricity. It's cheaper to operate. They can charge if they have time. But now they got battery swap, right? This is the better alternative, okay? So we can also expect a lot of orders from that. The only problem, all right, that we might have with this ONVO car is the fact that it might be too good, all right? 900 volt, NIO's 400 volt, horizontal screens, comfortable, and it's going to have a similar aesthetic inside the car. There's also going to be like 5-star safety rating, of course. Compromise on a little bit of material, right? So less aluminum, but at the same time, it's still going to be a great car, but it's going to cause a dilemma, right? Are some people going to be buying the ONVO car L60 or buy the ES6? People are going to be choosing one or the other, right? And it's a very tough sell for some people to convince themselves to maybe pay a little bit extra for NIO for the better premium materials, better performance, and more luxurious service and perks and access to more swap stations. So in that aspect, okay, ONVO cars might be too good. And people might, decide that, hey, maybe, I'll buy the ONVO car instead of the ES6. So that could be a possibility. All right, I just want to put that out there. But these two are clearly in different categories of cars. All right, they're in two different categories. The NIO brand is way up there. They're premium luxury car brand, and it's something that you can be proud of driving. Not that the ONVO cars, you're not going to be proud of that, but it's different. All right, it's very different. So it'll be very interesting to see how that pans out. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of pre-orders for ONVO. I'm sure ONVO will be a very good success because mass market battery swap. It's going to work. It's going to work, guys. So there's all those reasons to be bullish. Internal target, they're aiming for 20,000 deliveries per month. I think NIO can get much more, right, than 20,000 deliveries per month, especially if they're able to, flip the table, as the CEO said, because CEO said when they release the price of this car, they're going to be flipping the table. And I believe him on that. They're going to be flipping the table, right? So that's something to know. It's going to sell tremendously well, 20,000 to 30,000 deliveries per month, may even push us beyond that. But also, it does pose a situation where that car may be in some aspects better than a NIO vehicle, and where does that put us with NIO sales, right? So that's something to ponder about, but I am definitely super, super bullish on ONVO. This thing is finally offering customers what they want. It used to be so frustrating with NIO. They would never give customers what they want, but finally they are doing the right thing, and it's going to sell well, all right? Giving customers what they want is going to sell well, all right? So, yeah, that's something to look forward to. They're launching the car next week as well. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.